What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and we have some information. As you can see here, Zoro Super Type and Kaido Super Type are going to be making their debut on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, which is a bit of a weird one, because we were totally expecting to see, ideally, a global first character, because for those of you who didn't see my video the other day, I talked about what's actually coming next, because we didn't really know, right? This was one of the options, because Zoro and Kaido are legit the next debuting legends that Global hasn't got yet, that are on the JP release schedule. However, after Sanji and Pudding, which is what we just got, Roger and Odin debuted on Japan, which bring along Treasure Map Komurasaki, Arena X Drake, I think it was. There was a Clash Luffy as well. So the fact that Global never got all of that, we're wondering, is that what's going to be coming next? Bring a Global first character with a Roger and Odin rerun? That probably would have been the cleanest way to do it. However, that's not happening. We are getting Zoro and Kaido, which means that we're getting all of the Zoro and Kaido events, which ultimately means that if there are any characters that released alongside Roger and Odin, such as Treasure Map Komurasaki or Clash Luffy, anything like that, that would be useful for upcoming content, we don't have. So that's obviously a pretty big downer. So there was this tweet that was put out, obviously, just teasing the fact that these characters were arriving. 4 AM my time is when this tweet went live, so I was dead to the world when this came out. But there's a tweet here by Garant, who is a streamer for One Piece Treasure Cruise, and he said, so you're going to release the Treasure Map Queen before Komurasaki. This is bad. Komurasaki was useful for the Gokumaru event with the Kamazo's ambush. We're already missing many content and characters you've not released. Stop doing wrong choices. I do have to agree with Garant. Like, the fact that they release stuff out of order really does hinder the way that we can clear content, and it's not really for people that spend a lot of money on the game, that have a lot of characters. For those type of players, it's not as bad, but for the people that don't spend that money, that don't do a lot of pulls all the time, those are the people that get hurt the most from this, which is a large majority of the game. So the fact that they do release content in this order is really bad for the game. They really should think about the way they're releasing content before they just, you know, click the button and make these things happen, because this could be potentially bad. One of those types of situations that we have where we just lose out on units being available, which has happened plenty of times in the past when they've changed the order of treasure maps, and then it means that when actual treasure maps come back, that units are not boosted correctly. It happens all the time, and this could be one of those situations where it happens again. So the fact that Zoro and Kaido are releasing, I love the fact that they're releasing because they're cool characters, but also, you got to do what's right, and the fact that they haven't released characters in the right order could be a little bit of a down thing. But let's talk about the actual batch. That's what I want to talk about in this video today. I'm not really a big fan of the fact that they made this release right now, but it is what it is. You can go ahead over to this Twitter account, and if we get 4,000 actions, likes, shares, retweets, blah, 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 by the 30th of May, we get 25 rainbow gems. This also, I'm not really too sure, like, what banner is actually releasing after the maintenance period. Is this banner releasing straight after the maintenance period, or is it going to release on the 30th of May, once, you know, everyone has the potential to get 25 rainbow gems? I really hope it comes after the maintenance period, because it's been so bland on Global. I want something to come out. I want some events to release. So hopefully that's what happens. I do not want another week of, like, filler bullshit. I want something to play. So we'll have to wait and see, okay? Let's jump into the actual breakdown of these characters, okay? So first of all, we got Zoro, the brand new Sugo Fest exclusive, Super Type Zoro, and I know a lot of people have been waiting for this guy. This guy's really, really cool. He has probably the best artwork with the ink effect, and also probably some of the best special animations in the entire game. He looks so, so cool. One thing I do have to say about Zoro, though, before we get into him, is that unless if you're a huge fan of Zoro, I probably wouldn't advise pulling. We don't even know what the Sugo Fest is going to be like, but I probably wouldn't advise pulling for him, because the Super Type lore that releases with Japan's 7th anniversary pretty much replaces this Zoro. Now, I get, like, Zoro is not an attack booster like what lore is, and lore does a lot of different things, but, like, the thing is if you want a full-on Dex captain, Zoro probably won't be that guy, because lore is going to pretty much take that guy's place when he comes out. So it is what it is. I've given you guys the warning, but let's talk about this unit. He is a Dex/driven, surprise, surprise. His captain effect, though, boosts the attack of Dex by 5 times and cuts the HP of all enemies by 20% at the start of every stage if you've taken 20,000 or more damage. So this is interesting. Once you've taken 20,000 or more damage, he just changes his effect to this. But if you haven't taken 20,000 or more damage, so basically at the start of the run, you're a 4.5 times attack, 1.5 health, and you boost the attack of all other characters by 4x, and then reduces special bind by 10 turns. This is a fantastic captain effect. Like, just this alone is already really good, but as soon as you take 20,000 or more damage, the 4.5 becomes a 5 times, and you get a 20% health cut to all enemies when you move into the next stage. So that's really dope, right? This is a really good captain effect, and decks kind of need it, because decks are like probably the worst color in the game, so it is nice that they get a character as good as this. Plus, the ability to remove special bind just all the time by 10 turns is so good, you don't even have to worry about special bind if this guy's your captain, unless if he gets despaired, and then you get inflicted with special bind, that's going to be a bit of a problem, but, you know, this is a great captain effect. Free sailor effects makes Dex Orb beneficial for all characters, and then restores own special cooldown completely when it's rewinded, which is fantastic for his special, which is on a 13-turn cooldown after expansion. Reduces the cooldown of all characters by 2, so you can resist special rewind by 2 for your whole team. He makes his own attacks ignore all damage negating abilities and barriers. So essentially for one turn, this guy like just goes through everything with his attacks, and then deals 100 times his attack in typeless damage, typeless fixed damage to all enemies that ignores everything. So he's guaranteed to get that damage off, guaranteed to hit, and then amplifies the effect of orbs for Dex characters by 2.5 times, but if you've taken 20,000 damage, it becomes a 2.75 times orb boost to Dex characters. So minimum 2.5, that's amazing, but if you get this buffed captain effect, it means that his special will also be 2.75. However, if the enemy does apply the effect of removing your accumulated values, I believe this will also change this back to a 2.5, but still, 2.5 orbs is fantastic. Now, he does have a super type, of course, and it's pretty easy to fulfill. You just need one of the Straw Hats, or you can use Hiyori or Toko, which is great. With this event, I believe that Toko, like a new Toko and Hiyori character should be releasing, I think. I can't remember correctly, but I'm pretty sure like a new one of these characters is going to be releasing. And it says, for his super type special, it does damage to all enemies, which is great, and then boosts the color affinity of Dex characters by 2 times for 1 turn, and you get super Dex typing. So that's a great super type, honestly. You know, getting just 2 times affinity for your color. It's freaking awesome, dude. So with this unit alone, you get an amazing captain effect. You get special bind removal. You also get cooldown reduction. You get huge damage and a huge orb boost and color affinity just with one unit. So this really helps out the Dex typing for sure. But as I said, I think super type Law, when he comes out a little bit later on for global, he's basically like he's going to be the replacement for this guy, unfortunately. But still, a really, really good unit. I believe he has a good support, yeah, to Dex characters. When the supported character does a damage dealing or a health cut special, 1.75 orb boost for 1 turn, so you can actually use this as a support on super type Law when he comes out. So you get an attack boost with Law, and you get an orb boost with the support effect. That's pretty cool. So I really like this Zoro character. I love everything about him. It's just unfortunate that, you know, Dex is like one of the weakest colors in the game, so that's a little bit of a downside, but still, cool animations, cool kit, amazing character. Not really too much to really say that's actually bad about the unit. I guess the only real bad thing is you have to take 20,000 damage in order to get his buffed captain effect. But that's not the end of the world, so he's still a really, really solid unit across the board. Let's move on to Kaido, though. So Kaido is the other legend that's going to be debuting alongside Zoro, and he is also a super type unit. So Kaido is a quick-driven powerhouse, and quick-driven powerhouse, an amazing combination, works very well with some of the other future Sugo Fest exclusives that are going to be dropping. Captain effect, though, is going to boost the attack of quick units by 5 times if you've used his Thunder Bagua in that turn. Only during that turn, it's a 5 times boost. However, if you haven't used the special, it'll be a 4.5 times boost. You still get a 1.5 health boost, though, and then boost the attack of all other characters by 4x, so you can still boost every other character. And then every turn that you have taken damage that exceeds 10,000, he automatically activates his special ability. So that's really interesting, right? At any time you take over 10,000, as soon as that turn ends, he launches his Thunder Bagua so that you get the 5 times boost. It's pretty awesome, the way that it works, but depending on the situation, you might not want that to happen, but it's pretty cool the way that it's structured. But basically, most of the time, you're a 4.5 captain with a 1.5 health boost, and you still boost all of the characters by 4x. So not really too much going on in terms of his captain effect, but it's a good captain effect nonetheless. This is going to be good for quick GARP challenges as well, for sure. I really hope I can get my hands on this guy, because this guy is an absolute beast. So let's go ahead and have a look at his crewmate ability, cannot be blown away, and if you use his Thunder Bagua, he boosts his own base attack by 2 times. What? I actually didn't realize he had this sailor ability. This is actually insane, dude. Holy. So he goes up to like a 4,000 base attack? Dude, that's actually kind of insane. This actually might be like one of the best sailor abilities in the game. Not even kidding. This is insane, the fact that he can just do this. I love this. This is great. Now, his special ability, it will inflict all enemies with increased damage taken by 2 times for 1 turn, and deals 1,000,000 fixed damage to all enemies, or to one enemy, should I say, and changes all orbs into matching orbs, right? So if the enemy does 10,000 damage to you, you inflict them with 2 times increased damage taken. Now, this is a new ability in the game where, as long as they don't have a full immunity buff, you give them the increased damage taken buff, which means any damage you do to them is multiplied by 2. This is a new type of debuff, really, to the enemy, where any damage you do, you just doubled. Which means that when they're inflicted with this actually becomes 2 million fixed damage to the enemy. And look, every time you get hit with 10,000 damage, you get a full board of matching ores when you launch it special too. It's pretty freaking awesome. So 12 turn max cooldown is actually pretty acceptable for what he does. And for his super type special, it says he must be the captain, obviously, and must be below 50% health, which is also not too bad either because of the way that he's structured. You know, you're going to be taking damage. You have a really good health pool, so taking damage is not a big problem. So once you've taken below 50%, you can launch his super type, which deals 2 million fixed damage to one enemy, which remember can be doubled because of his special ability. And it reduces Rainbow Shield and Threshold by 2 turns. That's really good to have some utility there. And you get the quick super type. So this is dope actually, because you can get, if you have double Kaido, you can just remove 4 turns of Rainbow and Threshold like all the time, which is great. I love that about him. Unfortunately, the super type special doesn't really help too much. Like, it does fixed damage to one enemy, and that's just kind of it. I wish it gave something else, like some type of boost would have been nice. Like, even if it was like, if he just did all of this and then like boost his own attack, maybe like base attack, kind of like what his Sailor ability does. If he boosts his base attack, that would have been pretty interesting if they would have added that as well. Because remember, he can only get that as a crewmate, so that's kind of a bit of a shame. But man, just the big thing about Kaido though is that he is he's not really the only unit in the game, because super type Law actually does it as well later on. But this is the only unit in the game on global right now that just inflicts this debuff to the enemy, which is just a free 2 times damage. It's so crazy how good it is. Now, one thing about Kaido that I really wanted to talk about was actually his ability in Pirate Rumble. Actually, his support, 18% attack to those King Queen Jack. That's interesting. But in PvP, Kaido is insanely broken. For the first 40 seconds, level 10 speed to himself, level 10 attack to himself, and then also all the time, level 5 HP to quick, level 3 defense to quick. So for the first 40 seconds, level 10 speed, level 10 attack, then you got level 5 HP and level 3 defense, which these two are all the time. This is probably one of the best passives in the entire game. This is insanely good. And then his special on a 26 CT, 3 times defense, level 3 defense down to all enemies in a large range for 5 seconds, 2 times his attack to all enemies in a large range, and 50% chance to inflict paralysis to all enemies for 20 seconds. This is probably one of the best PvP units in the game. And this is partly the reason why I really wanted to probably go for Kaido over Zoro, because Zoro gets outclassed later on down the line, but he's a really good unit, don't get me wrong, he's really good. Gets outclassed a little bit later on down the line, but Kaido is like one of those units that he's a little bit difficult to replace one for one. He's like kind of like the only unit that does what he does. He's really, really good, and that's why I really want to get this guy. He is insane. So let's talk about the rest of the batch. The 2 legends are pretty good units, right? Now we've got Kamazo, which is the brand new rare recruit, of course. He is a quick-driven slasher. His special cuts the HP of one enemy by 20%, that ignores everything, reduces burn by 4 turns, reduces increased defense, which is the blue shield, by 4 turns, and gives you a 3 times chain lock for 1 turn. A little bit disheartening, the fact that it's a 4-turn removal of burn, because when we was playing, I was like doing Navy challenges the other day, and man, the fact that there's so many units that remove burn by 4, it is so infuriating. Why do they just not make it a 5-turn removal, dude? This is so infuriating. 4-turn defense removal, like, it's good, but 5 would have been so much better, dude. Like, legit, that's so frustrating. Boost attack against Dex by 2 times. That's interesting for his crewmate. Like, there's not really much else going on here. Like, it's kind of mediocre. I'm not actually a big fan of this unit. I think overall he's kind of meh. The one thing that I can say that's good though is that he does a damage with his special. He does a health cut, right? So he's a quick unit, right? Yeah, he's quick. So you can add like super type smoker as a support to this guy to give you an attack boost when you launch his special. That's kind of interesting. So you can get a chain lock and an attack boost. So that could kind of work in your favor, but it's so close to being amazing. It's just I don't know why they make it a 4-turn removal. The other character that releases alongside him in the Sugo Fest is Gokumaru. Really cool artwork, actually. That's dope. He's a Dex slasher striker, and his special will change all orbs on all characters into Gokumaru's orb, which is interesting. Well, there's a few characters in the game that have this, and it's interesting. You can kind of make it work. And then reduces despair, paralysis, and attack down by 3. He better have double special, and reduces threshold by 5. Okay, that's... He doesn't have double special, surely. No, he doesn't. This is so weird, man. I mean, this is good though. I mean, look, if this was all of these were 5 turns, this probably would be one of the best rare recruits in the game. So I guess, actually, you know what, this is good. This unit is definitely better than, what's his face? Kamazo, but still a good unit, either way. Like, Despair Paralysis attack down by 3. Again, 5 would have been better, but, like, in a lot of cases, there are a lot of situations where you're only inflicted with 3 turns of these debuffs, and they're reducing Threshold by 5. This can be used in a lot of situations as well. Okay, it's acceptable. 10-turn cooldown's pretty good for his special. What was the cooldown of Kamazo again? Was it like 12? It's 13. Yeah, that's a little high, honestly. I mean, it is a chain lock, so I guess, yeah, it is what it is. The rare recruits are a little bit disappointing, unfortunately. I wish they were, like, a little bit better. There is going to be, obviously, a lot of other characters releasing a little bit later on down the line. This Lucy, I think, is a free-to-play, Rumble unit, and then these 3 are Treasure Map Rare Recruits, I believe, and then you got Otama, Treasure Map Queen as well. Oh, 6+ Mihawk should be arriving soon, and Kizuna King as well. So pretty interesting stuff moving forward there. So that is going to wrap up this video today, talking about the brand new Sugarfest batch that's going to be arriving on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. Let me know down below in the comment section your opinions on this one, but I mean, I'm excited for it either way, but it is going to be weird to see how they release content a little bit later on down the line. But thank you so much for watching this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.